everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Market Fatafat on ET Now, the show where we get you a wrap and a speed wrap at that of the top stocks and the movers and shakers you need to watch out for. Ram Mubi and Akapasi. A quick look at the market. We haven't really been able to take a look at that, and it's gaining quite smartly, though the Nifty has once again slipped below 10,900 just as we speak, or actually we're just about at that level. The broader markets, however, are unable to post any gains at this point. But let's introduce then our guests who are going to be joining us for the next 30 minutes and our research analysts as well. So we have with us Soumya Sharma as well as Siddharth Bhamre, and on the technicals Kunal Bothra as well as Swati Hotkar from Nirmal Bank. So thanks to all of you for joining in. And Soumya, let's start off with the very first stock on our radar. Yes Bank, the gains over there continue.
As far as the results are concerned, the company reported a 7% decline in its net profit for Q3 due to higher provisions. Apart from this, it appointed Ravneet Gill as the MD and CEO of the bank. A lot of brokerages came out with their note today, and the factors to watch out here are clarity on new strategy, management and the asset quality.
Okay, 5.3% higher for Yes Bank. What a rebound witnessed over here. Meantime, TCS, Kunal, what is it that you're observing?
The hourly charts, the stock is forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern, Mubina, and for the large cap stock in the Nifty IT space, I think this could be a very interesting point, because if the stock breaks out of this inverse head and shoulder pattern, and the breakout is around this 1930, 1940 spot levels, so just about 0.5% out from current levels. If the breakout happens and the stock closes above it, then it could lead to a rally of almost 80 points on TCS, and that should impact not just the benchmark, the Nifty IT index, but even the Nifty 50 as well. So this is something which short-term traders should keep an eye on. About 1935 on spot levels, there could be a strong breakout on TCS, leading to an upside of 60 to 80 points.
All right, that's TCS for you. Meantime, keeping it with the IT space, Mindtree is a stock in news. This is after the Economic Times has reported that the promoter founders of Mindtree are eyeing a white knight to check on any hostile takeover bid. They're seeking to counter the L&T Infotech bid to buy a stake in Mindtree. This is coming in the midst of VJ Siddhartha looking at selling his stake, at least a part of his stake in Mindtree. Promoters are in fact said to be all out when it comes to talks with private equity firms, family offices, shareholders. So that's the news. The stock price, however, has dwindled down now significantly, from that high of 924 rupees. Now, in fact, it's more or less flatlining. Swati, let's talk about the massive uptick witnessed in an Edelweiss today. It's among the top Nifty 500 gainers. What would be your strategy?
Yes, as of now, technically, the overall view will remain cautious on the Edelweiss. Yesterday, we have seen that the stock has just made a bottom of 150, and we have seen a pullback rally today almost towards 164. This rally might be likely to be continued towards 180, whereas the supports is placed at 155. So definitely, this pullback rally is likely to be continued. So those who are having a long positions, they can definitely hold on for immediate target, or say the resistance at up to the 180 odd levels, and one can place a stop loss of a 155 on the downside.
Okay, 7.7% higher for Edelweiss. Siddharth, keeping it with IT, NIIT Tech, what are you witnessing here?
Well, Kunal mentioned about large cap IT stock doing well. That's TCS. Even mid cap name like NIIT Tech is joining it. And we are seeing fresh formation of long positions, more than 10% rise in open interest. And 1300 resistance, that's getting challenged, and stock is now decisively above that level. So watch out for further upside when it comes to NIIT Tech.
All right, 1.5% higher for an NIIT Tech. Let's talk about Kaveri Seeds then. Meantime, Kunal, in the last 5 odd days, we've seen quite an uptick come by. Today, that seems to be continuing. It's 3% higher. Well, I wouldn't say 5 odd days, but at least in the last 1 odd month, there was that news which came in, which really propelled the stock higher. So what would be your strategy here?
Yes, Mubina, I think the last 3 months have been quite positive. I think in the month of October end, the stock closed at a low around those 450, 475 zone. So from there on, it's recovered quite smartly. The volumes have picked up, not just in the last 2 months, 3 months, but even in the last 2-3 days on the short-term charts. The stock is now trading comfortably above its 50 and 200 moving averages, and there are some bullish crossovers and even a triangular pattern breakout, which is on the hourly charts for Kaveri Seeds. So multiple reasons why I believe that the stock could break out on the upside and continue this uptrend. It's a buy with a target closer to 625 and stop loss around this 575 mark.
Okay, that's of course, the view coming in on a Kaveri Seeds. Let's talk about KPIT Tech then. It certainly is a day for newsmakers in the IT space. Now, there's been a bulk deal over here, and look at the way the stock price has tanked. In fact, it's now at the day's low as we speak. It's National Engineering that has actually bought 1.35 crore shares at 138 rupees per share. On the other side of the transaction was Kishore Parshuram Patil, who has sold 28 lakh shares, and Proficient Finstock, which has sold 1.2 crore shares. And the stock price has certainly taken quite a beating today in trade after the reporting of the bulk deal yesterday post-market hours, down near the day's low. And keeping it with IT, Soumya, Infosys, what were the results like? What's the stock reaction?
The PAT was up by 2.6% and the revenue growth was at 3% in CC terms on a sequential basis. The company said it saw new deal wins of approximately $122 million in direct international business. Well, as far as management is concerned, it is optimistic and remained confident about growing in double digits, and even as it eyes acquisition areas of cloud and cognitive.
All right. So while stock price has come off quite a bit from the day's low, it's now again slipped into the red. 0.4% lower for Infosys after those numbers. Swati, let's talk about the uptick witnessed in a DHFL.
Yes, Rubina, we have seen today a pullback rally towards 50 days moving average on the DHFL, but it is facing a very strong resistance of 224 levels. Once it manages to give a breakout of the same level on the closing basis, then we can see some uptrend towards at least 260, 270 all levels. But at the current level, the view will be remain cautious as long as it stays above 50 days moving average. So definitely one can look for a buying only if it's giving a breakout of 224 for immediate target of a 260 to 270 levels. But at the current level, just wait for a breakout. If it manages to give a breakout, then only one should take a buy call about 224 levels.
Okay, so DHFL higher by close to 4.5%. Siddharth, along with that one, even SRF today is seeing some gains.
Yeah, one of our technical analysts did give a buy call in today's trading session or before market open, and stock is doing really well. Observations are that there is around 11 to 12% rise in open interest, and stock moving higher, indicating that these are fresh formation of long positions, and volumes in cash market are higher by 2 weeks average. If you take volume, today's volumes are already higher than those levels. So this is, you won't say price volume breakout as such, but this is continuation of trend, formation of long position on high volumes.
Okay, so that's SRF at the day's high as we speak. We'll take a very short break right here on the show. Come back for the countdown to continue.
Complete your TV viewing experience with the best of Hollywood entertainment and news. Get the Times Movies and News pack at just 13 rupees. Ask your cable or DTH provider now.
Okay, welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat. Let's continue with the countdown then on the show. Kunal, HDFC Limited, today it's high by 0.8%. What would you advise viewers to do here?
So I think a couple of days back, in fact even yesterday, the stock was on the verge of breaking its major or a critical support of 1950. This could have also been a close below its 50 DMA. Had the stock closed below the 1950 mark, we saw late recovery, and today we're seeing a follow-through action. Now that 1950 mark is now a very important and a crucial support for HDFC. Remember that this is one of the large cap names which has a very strong correlation with how the Nifty performs as well. So if the stock doesn't break this 1950 mark, you could see the stock gaining up higher from current levels as well. But 1950 should not be a crucial support for any short-term to medium-term investment decisions on the stock price.
HDFC Limited for you. Let's talk about Pfizer then, and let's talk about the earnings over there. It's been a good set, and that's clearly being reflected on the stock price too, because not only the top line but even on the profitability front, the company seems to have done pretty well. So while revenues have grown in double digits, 12.5% higher, in fact at 514 crore rupees, even the profitability has jumped by a decent 51.3% on a year-on-year basis at 132 crore rupees. Back above 2700, the stock price certainly seems to be doing very well, responding to those Q3 numbers. Soumya, Quest Corp, however, what were the numbers like over there?
Well, as far as numbers is concerned, I think they were strong set of numbers. The revenue was up by 37% to nearly 2,172 crore rupees, while the PAT was up by 7% year-on-year basis. Margins were also more in line at around 5.5% on a year-on-year basis.
All right, so that's Questcorp, just about slightly sluggish today in trade. Bharti Infratel, meantime, Swati, you know, after that downtick we witnessed yesterday, today it's attempting a rebound. What would you advise? Swati, the question was for you. Bharti Infratel, what would be your strategy here? Okay, I don't think we don't have Swati with us, but let me just read out her view. She believes that one should remain cautious in Bharti Infratel as long as it stays below the 285 level, which it currently is at. It's at 275 rupees, so she still has a bit of a cautious view on Bharti Infratel, a wait and watch mode, if you may say so. ICICI Bank, meantime, Siddharth, the stock of the day, especially with respect to all the news flow coming in for Chanda Kochar. What are you observing?
Well, small but steady, but this is 7th consecutive day that ICICI Bank is correcting. And now we are seeing fresh formation of short positions, not by huge margin, but around 4-5% built up. I'm not saying this stock would correct substantially, but then there are concerns related to what's happening with the case, Chanda Kochar case, and it is having an overhang on the stock and it's slightly under pressure, some shorts visible.
Okay, so there is red on the screen for ICICI Bank. In fact, the 7th straight day of correction on the stock. You know, Kunal, the realty pack today is one of the biggest losers. Interestingly, Kolte Patil is being able to buck the trend. So what would your strategy be? So
yes, Mubina, you know, the stock has had a very decent upside in terms of price. The volumes in the last 3 weeks have improved, quite well for the stock. And when you look at it in terms of price patterns, it's forming a bullish flag pattern, consolidating around its 200 DMA. So the ingredients of, the stock charts have improved significantly for Kolte Patil in the last, 3-4 months, and which is why I believe that the stock could be gearing for a decent, breakout on the upside. I would suggest a buy about those breakout levels of 275 for even a positional target of 10 to 15% from those levels.
All right, that of course is Kolte Patil for you. Jindal saw meantime an earnings reaction witnessed on the stock. Great set of numbers. We had the revenues growing 10.7% at 2,342 crores. Not just that, it was accompanied even by margin expansion, so that trickled down on the profit front. So margins expanded by about 140 basis points at 13.4%, and the profits too, as a result of that jump in the EBITDA and the margins, saw an uptick of 36.4% at 150 crore rupees. So the stock price too is gaining very smartly, 5.6% higher. Soumya, what about Biocon's numbers? What were they like?
Well, the company reported over twofold jump in their PAT to nearly 243 crore rupees for Q3 on account of strong performance of its biologics business. Well, the revenues were also up by 45% and the margins improved from 21% to 25% on a YOY basis. Well, Goldman has a buy rating on the stock with a target price of 740, and they see an upside from both biologics and branded formulation segments.
Okay, that's Biocon for you, 0.8% lower after all the give and take. A stock that, however, continues to dwindle lower is TVS Motors ever since it delivered its Q3 numbers. Swati, what would be your recommendation here?
See, Mubina, as a overall the view on the TVS motor has been bearish. The weekly chart indicates that the stock has given a breakdown of a head and shoulder pattern, and yesterday it has given a breakdown of a neckline as well. So it indicates a cautious to bearish view at the current levels. I believe this downfall will be likely to be continued towards 500 to 490 levels. So one can go definitely short at the current levels for a target of a 500 to 490 with a stop loss of a 530 on the upper side.
Okay, that of course is TVS Motors. Today as well, it's down by over 1%. So that, look at the way Z Entertainment is falling. In fact, just in the last 1 odd hour, the selling has actually accelerated.
Well, yes, Mubina, and this stock is threatening past its 415 support. In fact, a month back or two, it did touch those levels and bounce back. But this time, the way things are panning out, volumes, open interest built up, which is on the negative side, of course. This stock is heading for further downside, and even if it closes at current levels, then this would be lowest closing since May 2016. So negative news for Z.
Okay, we could be looking at the lowest close since more than 2.5 years for Z Entertainment. Kunal, Dabur is seeing some minor uptick today. What would you recommend?
So, interestingly, it's forming a rounding bottom pattern now. These kind of patterns which we generally talk about, rounding bottom formation, they generally take place on the daily charts, but on the hourly charts also the significance of these patterns are quite important, because this could also result into the stock breaking out on the upside, and that too on a swifter momentum. So Dabur could be one of the stocks which should be on traders' radar. I think the breakout is about those 440 spot levels. The stock is, I think, 1% off from this breakout level, and this could result into the stock maybe rallying to almost 470, 475 as well. So that should be FMCG stock into traders' radar.
Okay, 1.2% higher for now on spot price for Dabur. Linde India, meantime, is a stock in focus. In fact, it crashed as much as 20% after the company's promoters have rejected the discovery price for the company for the purpose of delistings. It's BOC Group and Linde Holdings Netherlands, the promoters of Linde India, that informed the stock exchanges regarding the discovery price. Now, remember, Reliance Mutual Fund does hold about 9.9% stake as on 31st December. FPIs as well held about a 2% stake. Today, you are witnessing some massive selling coming in over here. Volumes as well significantly higher. And in fact, if we have to flag off some other individual technicals, it's interesting to note that it's trading at 145 times its estimated earnings per share for the coming years, and trading volume 10 times the 20-day average. Okay, well, we are completely out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat. So with 22 stocks, we'll have to call it a day. Swati, thanks so much for joining in. Kunal, Siddharth, as well as Soumya, to you as well. But again, a reminder for our viewers, as per the new CRAI tariff order, you have the power to choose and pay only for the channels you love. So if you enjoyed this edition of Market Fatafat, and to keep watching it on ET Now, call your cable or DTH operator right away.
Complete your TV viewing experience with the best of Hollywood entertainment and news. Get the Times Network Value Pack at just Rs. 13. Ask your cable or DTH provider now.